So with all the Akash stuff going on right now, he's catching a lot of heat from a lot of different directions. Abbott and Preach are ops to Fresh and Fit. They don't like each other. And it's crazy when they both are criticizing the same person. But the thing is, Akademiks doesn't look at them equally as far as Fresh and Fit and Abbott and Preach. And he feels like they are not qualified to be giving information or just even be speaking on Akash's situation, as where he feels Fresh and Fit are validated because they've had big public mishaps. And he calls that being vulnerable. And he also threw MTR into the fire with Abbott and Preach, basically saying he's not qualified to have an opinion on this type of stuff. So real interesting. I wanted to react to it. I'm not going to lie, some of MTR's reaction is going to be cut out. So I should have a link in the description so you can hear his full response to it, because he's going to be more eloquent than I am.
And I value it very highly, by the way. But like
the married guys don't show it. Yeah.
They don't. I don't see it from them.
Yeah.
I don't see it from them because they're in these toxic marriages that are not really about the things. You're talking about like, breaking up with the kids and all the rest of it. But these marriages, in many respects, in many dimensions, in many aspects, they're not real anyway.
Yeah.
They're not real.
But I'll be
and
honest.
You know that. You know enough celebrities to know that.
Hold on. A lot of people.
That's your friend though.
Hold on. A lot of. Well, here's the thing.
These marriages are not real.
And here's the thing, right? So.
I want you to note Fresh said that Akash is Akademiks' friend. Akademiks has been on Flagrant 2 multiple times.
I don't believe this criticism is something that he's going to be like, hey, I'm getting a divorce, like attorney. And this is where I say, like, I was watching this one guy, and what's his name? I'm not dissing him or shouting him out, but I guess I am shouting him because I think his name is Mediocre. You guys know?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the reason I'm mentioning him.
Tutorials and reviews, baby. You can call me MTR for short.
Right? Is that, and I was watching also Abbott and Preach. And and I was starting to realize the pile-on effect.
Okay.
And I started to say, because I'm one of those people who, no matter what you want to say about me, if I give advice or if I give my own personal view, you could easily be like, well, how has your relationships been? I'm starting to dislike the guys who, they are the soapbox guys. We've never seen a woman they've been with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like, for example, okay,
Now, I want you to keep note of the qualifications that he is putting on people being able to speak about certain things, as far as whether it be weighing in on it, giving their opinion, or flat out giving advice. Matter of fact, let's run it back so we could get his exact words.
I'm one of those people who, no matter what you want to say about me, if I give advice or if I give my own personal view, you could easily be like, well, how has your relationships been?
So just note that he said personal view, giving your own personal view. If you were giving your own personal view by his standard that he is trying to hold people to, what does your relationship look like if you were giving your own personal view? That is a standard that he's trying to hold people to. So just keep that in mind.
I'm starting to dislike the guys who, they are the soapbox guys. We've never seen a woman they've been with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like, for example, okay,
Mm-hmm.
they have ammo, be like, whoa, what Fresh? There's a Chinese girl and there's Miranda. When it comes to Myron and so-and-so. These guys, they get to talk like they're the best, but we've never seen them with a woman.
Now, see, we got to address two things. Number one, when it comes to the people speaking, this is why you got to be specific. Because when you look at somebody like a Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews or No Fugazi has said that he is not a high-value male, right? He has said that out of his own mouth. When it comes to Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, he doesn't talk like he is a superior man, like he is an alpha, all alpha. So that doesn't check. But if you go and you look at like a Andrew Tate or a Marquette or a Anton Daniels or Rich Cooper, these types of people are invested and making you think they are superior men. So it's going to come up damn near any time they're reacting to anybody else doing anything. It's gonna come out of their pores. It's gonna seep out of them. Abba and Preach, they are very condescending when it comes to anything red pill related or anything like that. And they are just condescending in general. But they don't present themselves like they are perfect, like they are without flaws. So that's the thing. Like, he mentioned two people, as far as the two groups of people, Abba and Preach and then Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. Those people are not people who try to portray an image like they are perfect, like they are without flaws. So that's the first thing. He picked the wrong people to try and make that point about. But the second thing is, when we talk about seeing them with women and stuff like that, Preach has a fucking wife. What are we talking about? When it comes to Abba, I think he says he did something gay, like got penetrated, or like, he was on all fours getting his ass ate. He did some gay shit. How much more vulnerable can you get than being a heterosexual male and coming out and saying you did some gay shit? Like, and being comfortable in that gayness. And I said heterosexual male, like that's what he says he is, because we know what it is. Like, if you're doing some gay shit, you know what it is. But when we talk about MTR went on a trip with Melly Monaco, and he had one of them other, manosphere female content creators at the crib drinking. I don't remember her name. But we've seen him with women. Hey, check this out. Guess how his channel, when he's gotten to this type of content, guess how it kicked off? It kicked off with him reacting to videos with women in the room.
I got M back in the building. M would say, what's up?
What's up?
Yo, I brought back Imani. Imani, say what's up?
What's cracking?
So that shit has got to stop. Like, oh man, we haven't seen these. Like, I did this whole shit a minute ago. Like, all the content creators who be having their face on the screen, bro, like, all of them either have a babe, have a wife, or they've been seen with women at some point. Like, it's just what it is. So it's like, trying to hold somebody to that standard is a low fucking standard. And even then, you don't watch him. You're not going to do your due diligence, so you don't know what he has showed to us over the years.
So, like, for example, okay, they have ammo, be like, whoa, what fresh? There's a Chinese girl and there's Miranda. When it comes to Myron and so-and-so. These guys, they get to talk like they're the best, but we've never seen them with a woman.
Well, I got f***ed in the ass.
Wait, hold on.
He admitted this.
Yeah, milk on all
He admitted
fours.
this shit.
Yeah,
Wait,
all
what?
fours.
He literally got milked. He got f***ed in the ass. He tried to get the clip erased,
He said it.
but he literally, yeah, bro.
He
Like,
watched
yo,
it-
I'm
watched
on
it
those
off the
niggas
internet?
head tops.
No,
all
he's
2026,
heterosexual,
bro.
though.
Huh?
Well, why would he do that if he's heterosexual?
No,
Exactly. Because they've talked shit about
He's
you
not,
too.
nigga.
We like these niggas need to get cooked, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's either got to put on gloves and get the ass whooping, or I'm gonna just keep my fucking foot on his neck all 2026.
Here's my thing.
Okay.
And I love everybody who are giving commentary, but the commentary seems so much more genuine when it comes from a place where people have also been vulnerable themselves. When people could say, hey, well, you've seen me not make the best decisions. So even when I'm speaking about this, like the Aakash thing, and of course I'm being a little bit careful because that is my friend, but I'm like, hey, listen, I've been in one of those situations where I felt I'm with a woman and she's embarrassing me online.
Yeah.
She's doing it, and she's doing it for her own benefit,
Right.
and almost climbing upon what it took me 15 years to build without her. And she's trying to almost shit on me to empower herself.
Meghan Markle kind of style,
And
yeah.
over time, that relationship dynamic changes. Because once she has some attention, she starts to talk to you a little bit different now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's looking at the guy that can take her to the next stop, right? 'Cause
Exactly.
She's used you to get to stage one, and now she's like, well, who's going to get me to stage
Monkey
two?
branching, of
Yeah,
course.
Very quickly, I want to say a hoe that tears a man down becomes less attractive to other men who are actually moderate to high self-esteem men. When we're talking about the status games and, I'm going monkey branch, If you tear down one man, you will become Larsa Pippen, Cat Stacks, Selena Powell, and Superhead. You are only good for fucking, and the people who are going to fuck you, not only are they not going to take you serious, but these are not going to be guys who are solid within themselves. These are going to be guys who are pussy drunk as far as any other guys of status that fuck with you, because you are an extreme liability if you are cutting men down. If you think what I'm saying is bullshit, something like 4 or 5 years ago, Selena Powell exposed Snoop Dogg for sleeping with her, right? She exposed him. 4 or 5 years, 6 years later, 7 years, however many years it's been, she goes and she exposes Lil Meech. Lil Meech is a weenie. That's why he's taking her serious. That's why he's talking all this lovey shit with her. So yeah, what I'm saying checks out.
Yeah.
And when I'm giving advice about that, or I'm giving my opinion, is because people could be like, I know sometimes the online content community, they're like, well, how could you talk? Because this is your history. That's why I could talk.
So this is the deal. He has a flawed, belief system when it comes to this. Because this is the deal. What people are doing when they make this content is what people should do whether the content is there or not, which is learning from other people's mistakes. When you look at things like, as far as content creators like me and other content creators, what we do is we give a lot of knowledge. And a lot of the times, the knowledge won't be based in something that's happening with a specific event or something like that. We'll give a lot of knowledge. Well, I have videos where there's not one clip in the video. It's just me talking and giving you philosophies, theories, lessons, etc., etc. But when you see stuff like, for instance, he mentioned Fresh with the, the Asian prostitute, right? Or you can look at Myron with his situation with the girlfriend that left him for a construction worker. And the main issue with that is that he didn't have sex with her before they got in a relationship, but he's telling you to get 50 bodies. Or if we look at Akademiks' relationships with Selena Powell and the girlfriend he had that he just mentioned that was trying to destroy him, what happens in these situations is those situations reinforce lessons that we, as the content creators, have already taught and already spoke on. What you don't like is that you had to learn the lesson the hard way and that somebody is using you as the lesson. You don't like that you are the lesson. So that's where this comes from. It's like, so who are you to point out something that is true? The truth don't care who tell it. And this is the thing. Nobody is perfect. But there are certain lessons that I've never had to learn through firsthand experience, and certain lessons that you want other people to avoid having to learn firsthand. So you become the experience that we point at to validate shit that we've already said. Let me give you an example. Because I don't know if he said it at this point. Like, I think he said the vulnerable, we've had people be vulnerable. Like, why would I want to be vulnerable on the internet? Really think about that. We're men. I will tell you about some of the downfalls that I've had, right? I'll tell you about some of this shit as far as some of the missteps I've made in life. But that's me being selectively vulnerable with you. There's probably, like, let me just give you an example, right? Let's just pretend. Let's pretend I had a situation where my girl, I come in and my girl is getting fucked by 3 dudes. This is imagination. This has never happened. Why would I or anybody ever come to the internet and divulge this information? Why would we ever do that? You want to know the truth? This is the truth. Especially when you are in this man space or you are a content creator and you are criticizing people, right? Number one, You have to understand you're going to get criticized at some point regardless. I was going to say, hey, let me keep it G, but I'm going to keep it 80% with y'all because I don't want to get nobody no exposure. But a nigga did a long ass stream about your boy. In no disrespect, he doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but the stream was hours. A long ass stream about me. I was never going to acknowledge that, but that's the type of shit that happens. And I have to take it on the chin because guess how many people I have criticized? It's a part of the game. This what comes with the game. But fucking hours, like nigga didn't have to work that day. Like that's crazy. But just keeping it a G, how mad could I possibly be? How upset could I put? You got to take it on the chin. But with me telling you that, let's go back to that fabricated situation that I made. We don't even got to go back to that. Donovan Sharp used to be a big content creator, and he told stories about what got him to where where he was. And he told stories about his girlfriend and how crazy his girlfriend put him through the ringer, right? All that happened with that. And guess what? He was sitting down with mediocre tutorial reviews at MTR and Pearl when this happened, when he was telling these stories. And he told these stories before on his own streams, but people like Abba and Preach weaponized that information against him. They used it to do a 360 windmill dunk on him. So you got to understand that when you're doing content, that it's like the debate video that I said, this shit is low-key war. You might not be looking for a problem, but somebody like Abba and Breach is going to go and they going to take your vulnerability, monetize it, exploit it, and fucking make fun of it, shit on you, wipe their ass with your trauma, and then keep it moving. That's what they're going to do. And I'm really giving you niggas the manual right now. Like, this is some art of war type shit that I'm giving you niggas. So why would a nigga, and that's how come, we got to get to some other shit in a moment, but that's how come you get took up top the way you do. Because you leave yourself vulnerable. You leave the weaknesses out, and your enemies exploit the weaknesses at every chance they get. Akademiks is going through it right now with Mano. What he decided to do when he was going at Mano was bring out a clip of Mano saying he likes to play the slave in role play with white women. So what did you do? You went because you came out. Akademiks came out and said these old niggas is dressing like young niggas, right? He said that about Mano, Jim Jones, Dave East, and Fabulous on their podcast, right? So Mano responds and says, I think you built like, whatever. He said he was built funny, right? So that's Mano's reply. Akademiks decides to escalate it by bringing out some personal shit Mano said on a podcast. For Mano to say that, Mano had to be comfortable with it to some degree, but Akademiks still chose to exploit that and weaponize it against Mano. Guess what happened after that?
DJ Akademiks, you talking again? You let your pride and Hennessy get you to the point to gas you up to say things that don't even make no sense on the internet? You? Again? You on the internet talking about your lane. But let me ask you something about your lane. Was it your lane when that lady said that you forced herself on her? Huh? Is that your lane? Huh? Sexual assault, is that your lane? All word, because that's what you accused for, right? Ain't that the shit that you paid out for? Well, I'm gonna give you one even better than that. Was it your lane when you was on the internet having that conversation with that 15-year-old boy and you talking about going up in him and putting things in him and giving him sex talk and talking about having sex with him? Is that your lane? That's not the lane that I'm in. That's not the lane that I'm a part of.
So let me break that down very quickly if you're not tapped in. So Akademiks had sexual assault allegations because somebody did something to a woman at his house, allegedly, right? So that's something to where he was vulnerable. He was exposed. He also had a moment where he did some inappropriate stuff and was talking to a 14-year-old about his sex life and trying to proffer information. And the 14-year-old definitely looked uncomfortable. And Akademiks is in his 30s, and he's doing this online, on webcam, grilling him to get information about his 14-year-old sex life. You know, so that's another moment of vulnerability that he had. And guess what? Mano weaponized that back towards him. And the thing about those things are neither one of those things are respectable to any degree. So again, why, when we know things like this could happen as content creator, why would we come on and be vulnerable? I'll tell you some shit I could let you know, but I'm not going to tell you no crazy shit like fuck that shit. And I'm going to tell you some real shit. Way before content creation, I learned the lesson that academics learn the hard way through local bitches. You know, 3 things. We could just say 2 for real. You know, 2 things. Matter of fact, I'll say 3. 3 things I've seen that if you were on local social media, you've likely seen these things happen to men. Number 1, news getting exposed. Whatever meat pics you sent. So never take no meat pics in the mirror, no shit like that, because guess what? You end up like Brett Favre, you end up like Chris Brown, you end up like Drake, where some chick is posting you in the mirror with your meat online. And now you naked on the internet and you not even trying to be no porn star or nothing. So it's weirdo shit like that, right? So that's number 1. That's number 1. Number 2, when you inbox chicks, when you thirst out too crazy, when you go in and you respond, you writing them so long without a response, when you just one of the people in the inbox, when you texting a chick, whatever the case may be, a lot of chicks will expose their messages. So what that made me do, I'm not sending nothing I'm uncomfortable with being exposed for the most part. Like, granted, I'm not going to say that's 100% the case. It's probably like 10% of the time where it's some shit like, this might look bad. But outside of that, like, only thing I can lean into is, nigga, like, it is what it is. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm a man, and a man is going to do what a man is going to do. So it is what it is. But these chicks will screenshot and expose you on some weirdo shit for clout. I've seen this so many times, and this is what I do when I see a chick do it. I block her. I don't want to even think that you are a prospect. Like, I literally, bruh, you want to know what's crazy, bruh? Like, it was a chick who put her butt on a motherfucking screen. I messaged her, man. Like, we had a good conversation about that ass. Another nigga messaged her, she exposed the nigga because she wasn't attracted to that nigga and she felt the need to fucking get some clout off of that nigga. So these are the type of things that go on in real life outside of this type of space. But this is the last thing. The last lesson that I learned with all of this being vulnerable shit and, you got to be seen with a, like, it's one thing to post your girl. It's one thing to have your relationship status on Facebook or whatever as, yo, I'm with this person. It's one thing to publicly claim a woman. That's cool. What I'm not into is living out our relationship on social media. I don't want everywhere we go posted. I don't want everything we do posted. Don't be posting your thoughts about our relationship on the fucking timeline. Don't be atting me in certain shit. Like, don't do that. Because this is what it leads to. When you with a woman who wants to live out every fucking moment of the relationship online, she's got a fucking problem. She's got a problem. And I'm not big into changing women, so I avoid a woman like this when I see this is the case. But she's got a fucking problem. And what the problem is going to lead to is when you guys get into turbulence, she's going to go online. She's going to let the world know that you have turbulence in your fucking relationship. And not everybody is picking a side. And y'all not even broke up yet. But she's going to the internet with your problems. Everybody knows about y'all problems now. And then when you inevitably break up, she's going to take that to the internet too. And however long it takes her to get over it is how long you're going to be getting posted about, because this woman cannot keep her fucking thoughts to herself. She can't just take them to the salon like a regular bitch. She got to go and put this shit online. That's what she got to do. So these are lessons I learned, not through firsthand experience, which even then, I'll keep it real. I have gotten embarrassed within my social circle before. It's happened. And even then, those lessons I've learned from, and you're not going to hear about that shit. But guess what? Within the lessons I teach, it comes from shit like that. It comes from shit like that to where I'm going to give you the lesson. I'm going to give you the lesson. This is another thing, man. I just did a whole video on like advice for young men. All of that shit is solid advice. And the thing is, I tell niggas at the top, I'm not the $1 million man or nothing, but the thing is, it's good advice because a lot of it is based on some of the mistakes I made. The issue is people think that Robert Greene has to be, Machiavelli to write the 48 Laws of Power. And that's just a fucking stupid frame of mind. That's just a stupid frame of mind.
How many people are...
First off, give a round of applause for DJ Akademiks. I really appreciate him bringing up this very specific topic. However, I do think that there's some error in his ways of his thinking. To paraphrase what he's saying, it's difficult for him to provide commentary or give advice about relationships because, well, then people, the audience, is going to turn back and say, like, bro, what do you know? Look at what you're going through. For anybody unaware, DJ Akademiks has gone viral one too many times in regards to something that a chick that he's been involved with has done to him. Outright public disrespect. She's released photos of him half naked. She's put his life in danger by doxing his address. It's too much to name, and that's not...
And listen, those are issues that I likely won't have because I can't be around a woman that doesn't respect me. That is top priority. With him, there were too many signs of disrespect from his woman, and he kept her around. It was almost like, I don't know if it was Adam or who it was, like people were trying to convince him. It might have been his chat. Like, bro, she's not good for you. You got to let her go. He couldn't see it. She even had, like, one of her friends had him backdoored, but, he got a lot of pipes around the crib, so he was on top of that. And shout out to his girl, because his girl went and locked the back door because she noticed it was left, unlocked for whatever reason. And they found out later that her friend did it. But yeah, Akademiks is qualified to say certain things when it comes to, being in a situation like that or somebody else in a similar situation, because he went through it and he probably learned from it. I didn't have to go through it to learn. I didn't have to go through that to know that a bitch that is disrespectful to you consistently is going to be an extreme detriment to you. I didn't have to go through that lesson, but it's a lesson that I'm going to teach and continue to teach all the time. And on top of that, it's a lesson that your situation makes good as an example for teaching.
This video's purpose. However, when these things happen to him, it serves for great social commentary because it's like, bro, why are you choosing that type of woman? You've taken 15 years of your life honing in on your craft to contribute considerable value to the marketplace, but you left yourself vulnerable because you gave an unsavory, unworthy woman the keys to the castle. And that in turn turns into fantastic talking points that I can then transition into how can I help the average modern man today make choices or decisions that will not only not put their livelihood at risk, but also their life happiness at risk. Now, Now, as I talk about this, I don't get the transition of why you begin not to like commentary YouTubers who you can't see their direct life. But listen, bro, I am not perfect. I've made many, many, many mistakes within my life.
And that's the misconception. The misconception is that people like MTR, me, are getting on here like we are perfect. Every one of you who listens to the channel, y'all know I'm not perfect because I always tell y'all I tell y'all I'm not the 100 body man. I tell y'all I'm not the super rich dude with the planes and stuff like that. I tell y'all I don't have it all figured out. I'm a regular guy. Like, I tell y'all that all the time. So my shit is never to sell you that I am a perfect being, that I am a perfect human. It's never the thing. But I can tell you on some real shit, regardless whether you see it or not, I am overqualified to be speaking on the shit I speak on in regards to women. And if you can't pick that up through the shit that I say and et cetera, like, it is what it is. And this is also the thing that I tell you that other creators really don't say. I say, listen, don't just accept the shit because I say it. And don't just accept the shit from other people just because they say it or because it sounds good. Don't accept. Be skeptical of everything. Be skeptical of everything that I say. I went to fucking war with my own audience over personality being more important than looks. People don't believe, a lot of the viewers don't believe that paradigm, you know, and that's fine. I try to provide proof all the time. But on top of that, you know, there are other things where people say, yo, I only agree with about 5% of what you say, but they watch a bunch of the videos. And guess what I tell motherfuckers? I tell people that's great.
However, I'm also a watcher of other people's mistakes. And in combination of other people's mistakes and the mistakes that I've made in my private life, I've been able to reduce my risk as my face or my image has become public. Even with that, I've talked through women levying false allegations against me years before I was up on YouTube to inform my majority male audience of the mistakes that I made within that process. Those videos where I talked about it are still public, by the way. And when I started off my channel back in 2019, 2020 era, I used to always have women. That's how I used to do content, was women in my life would come in and I'd be like, hey, you want?
I told y'all at the beginning he was going to say a lot of stuff more eloquent than me. You know, I didn't even know that he, you know, mentioned him doing videos with women and stuff like that. I know he didn't mention Melly Monaco and whoever the other content creator was, though. I'm sure he didn't do that. But with that being said, we're going to skip past what he's saying, see if there's some more academics, because there is some shit that I do want to get to as far as some current events going on with him.
They're out there
Who knows?
speak with integrity like that and have those experiences and are prepared to talk about others. You're asking media figures to have that kind of
No, but it's the fans. I'm really talking to the fans. How could you listen to Abin preach when you don't know anything that they've been through?
Thank you.
How could you?
And see, that's the thing. When you don't consume people's content, you don't know nothing about them, you make false assessments. Abba has spoken about a lot of situations with him and women. You know, Preach, I don't know if he's spoken about so much, but again, Preach has a whole fucking wife.
Who actually listen to this guy? And by the way, I like what this guy says, but he speaks
I think he's talking about me.
in a idealistic form, as if y'all ever deal with a species called women, there is nothing perfect. You're gonna go through some shit, even
right.
if you have everything mapped out. It's not always gonna go good.
Bro, look at
See, this is the thing, man. That sounds good. That sounds good. There is truth to it. You can't control people. You can't make other people do X, Y, Z. It sounds good, right? And there is some truth to it. But when we look at certain situations, certain things are your fault. And before we even get to that, some of these things that we're talking about are how you react. Like the lesson is in how you should react to what's going on. Not that it happened to you, how you should react. For example, you was getting disrespected by your girl. You should have left her earlier than you did. When she was posting you and all this crazy, you should have left her instead of sticking around trying to figure it out, trying to make it work, because there were multiple times she disrespected you and you couldn't check that. You couldn't make the bitch respect you. So with that being said, that's something to where, yo, you can't control. And I've even told a story on here. I've told a story on here about a chick that I was working with who, dog, the first time I fucking spoke to her, she disrespected me. Then she figured out who I was, and it was like, oh, she was trying to ride dick. But I always kept my distance from that chick because you felt so comfortable disrespecting me out the gate. I don't care if you're ass fat. I don't care if you look good. I don't care if you like me. I can't fuck with you because you are going to be a tremendous liability. That same chick, some dude pumped and dumped her. Like just he was running through the whole job, right? He got to her, and I witnessed, I was one of the few witnesses, she smacked this motherfucker hard as fuck in the hall at the job. And she was cussing him out while she was doing it because he fucked her and he was ducking her. So when we talk about shit like that, and that is like 10 years ago, bro. But when we talk about shit like that, I already knew before I got in that situation, don't fuck with women that don't respect you. I seen a woman that just has an inclination to be disrespectful to men disrespect another man. That same woman that disrespected me disrespected another man by smacking him in the fucking face, assaulting him. So that's a lesson I knew before we seen what you did. And when we see what you did, one of the lessons is and how you should react. Get away from her. Distance yourself from her. So that is why I am qualified to say that shit. And even if I wasn't qualified, it's still the fucking truth. I've seen proof in my life. I've seen proof in other people's lives that that's the truth. So it's not about idealistic, but this is the other thing. And it comes back down to this same situation. It's not about idealistic. It's about being able to spot certain shit to be preventative. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Again, chick disrespected me in the first conversation we had. Couldn't fuck with her. I don't want to associate with you at all. You know, fuck you. Even when she started feeling me, no, I'm not fucking with you. We can't do anything at all, because for you to feel that comfortable disrespecting a stranger, I know this can only go worse. You didn't know that. Your lack of knowledge is what got you into that situation. And not only did it get you into that situation, because you committed to her. Maybe you committed too quick, or you got disrespected and still committed. But the thing to do was, the first sign of disrespect, you check it. The second time some disrespect comes, it's like, oh yeah, we out of it. And even then, when you try to check the disrespect, is she even checkable? If you can't check the disrespect, you need to get out of there. So yeah, things are not going to be perfect. And even when you look at situations like marriages or whatever, like, yeah, things could change. So you got to be ready for those changes. So no, nobody expects anything to be perfect. And it's not the motherfuckers speaking idealistic. When we look at the situations you name, like the whole situation with you, completely avoidable. But then when we look at the situation with Fresh, completely avoidable. Why are you messing with prostitutes? Why are you tricking on it, bruh? I got a video, I think, where I reacted to Fresh sitting down with King 68 the Great talking about his situation. It's no way he should have even been fucking that chick in a way to where he could think that she actually got pregnant. The chick is dangerous. The chick is dangerous. The whole thing where you said you was going to buy her, like, none of that should have ever happened. And with Myron, It's very simple. Like, you're in Miami, you around a million women all the time and stuff like that. I can understand wanting a relationship. That's cool. But penetration should happen before commitment. If you were pushing this non-Christian, you got to smash 60 chicks type shit to niggas. Like, you got, like, come on, man. Come on, man. How am I, like, listen, I'm going to say it like this, man. If you are listening to this right now and you have maybe limited sexual experience or whatever the case may be, and you get with a chick without having sex with her and like you commit to a relationship, that is cool to some degree if you don't value sex highly or put sex on a pedestal and it's just whatever you like. That is cool. If it's cool for you, that's cool. Where it becomes the issue then is, okay, so you're with this chick. What is she doing for you? Why aren't y'all having sex? And when are you going to have sex? And why you're not having, if you're religious, if you're like, oh, I'm abstaining, that's cool. But if you want that, then it's a problem. Like, it's a problem. Myron, I don't want to go deeper on that, man, because we're beating a dead horse, bro. I got more shit I want to get to in this video. So let's go back a little bit in the video so I could get to this final set of points.
And I was starting to realize the pylon effect.
Okay.
And I started to say, because I'm one of those people who, no matter what you want to say about me, if I give advice or if I give my own personal view, you could easily be like, well, how has your relationships been? I'm starting to dislike the guys who, they are the soapbox guys. We've never seen a woman they've been with.
So what his theory is, what he believes, and he's saying it specifically in regards to dealing with women or speaking about women. If you are going to give your point of view, your own view, you have to have some verifiable experience to give your own view on these things. That is the principle that he is going by, but he is selectively using that for talking about women in relationships. Akademiks has built a healthy chunk of his career off of talking about Chicago murder, Chicago death, Chicago street shit. Giving niggas killers in real life nicknames. Giving them nicknames. Call Lil J Wolverine, call Lil Reese the Grim Reaper or whatever he call him, I can't remember. But that's who he is. He has had a lot to say about street shit, murder, street politics. He's had a lot to say about those things in hip hop over the years. People all the way from Meek Mill to Mona, who we're about to watch in a moment, have had criticism about him speaking on this street shit. And one of the biggest things that they have as far as these criticisms, they feel like the nerds, the people who are not in the streets, the people who are not from the streets, shouldn't be able to speak on the streets, especially for a profit.
We let real dweebs that wouldn't even jump out the car to cop a fucking eighth. If they made beer illegal, they would have a hard time getting it. They'd be paying $30 for a can of beer because they fucking don't know nothing. We gorillas. Like, once you survive the street and you don't rat, you're not dead. I ain't got that fucked up limp or they ain't put me in no chair. I'm a gorilla. You feel what I'm saying? I'm better than you because I survived that shit, period. And the thing about street people is we have knowledge that you can't just go get a degree in. You can have a degree in whatever you want. You can't learn this shit I know. And I damn near can't even fucking teach it. You understand what I'm saying? That look down, that whole like, they're thugs, they have criminal records. That's why you can't be in this culture reporting on it. That's why Akademiks shouldn't have been the person reporting on all the Chicago shit. Because he ain't from 63rd. Like, he don't know shit about shit, but we let these people come in the culture and talk shit. Look at the people we talked about, Gil and Wallow. Gil locked the fuck up, doors kicked in over some motherfucking weed. Him and his bitch went to jail. And she was a square and open her fucking mouth ain't tell. This lady's a makeup artist. You understand what I'm saying? Fucking Wallow do a dub for robbery. Like, these motherfuckers is talking street shit, teaching street lessons because they walked on them streets. We let people that's really like in the culture that don't have Vlad, Akademiks, Trap Lore. I don't understand how they're allowed to do that shit. I don't get it. Shit, lightweight Adam. Like, I don't get how the white boys could just come in and do that. Akademiks, I don't want to hear from him.
I
Because
don't
know I
want to hear
can.
nothing from him neither.
Let's do a challenge. Put Akademiks in the back of the car, take him to a local weed block, and we challenge him to go buy the eighth. With a Corona mask, not even on no shit. Fitted cap, regular mask, so they just don't know you Akademiks. And I want to see you walk up to the local and get an eighth. And don't kick that. I don't smoke weed. He responded, this fat bitch, I don't smoke weed. Well, you might gotta buy an eighth for the bitch, because I know she ain't fuck you because you. Built like a dyke. Built like a motherfucking lesbian. He built like a 40-year-old lesbian. He's like a female Manny Fresh.
Oh, you don't fuck with that?
I'm just like, I just don't.
Did you not gather that from the last
Listen.
2 minutes?
Do y'all really want to know? Do y'all really want to know for real? When I found out the history of him, like how he started, I was just like, what the fuck? People let that fly? Like the reporting on Chicago and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of people that are like not in the streets at all, doing all street content. I just don't get that. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like you have to be at least adjacent to it to be able to report on it. You know what I mean? In my personal opinion. I don't want to hear shit from a square that wouldn't even walk through these blocks they discuss every day. I don't. That's my personal opinion.
I don't know if I agree. I think good coverage is good coverage.
How can you cover it good if you don't understand it, never seen it, never been there, never been close to it? How can you cover it well? How?
Would that be the same thing as if you compared like I won't say Stephen A, but someone who's never actually played the sport or someone who's not actually involved in that way, but still able to speak about it in a way that sounds like they know what they're talking about?
No.
You wouldn't be the same?
No. People lose their lives in the street. It's a different thing.
It's a politics that come in the street that if you discussing it from a wide array, you might not understand.
So that is criticism that's currently being levied against Akademiks right now. And this is what's going to happen. Akademiks, I haven't watched the response. He already responded to her saying some crazy stuff. And Akademiks has dealt with these types of, beliefs and stuff like that the whole time. That two things. Number one, that he exploited a lot of death in Chicago, making jokes and making fun of it to get his career, which he's even had Vic Mensa come in his face and call him a bitch and say he wanted to smack him. He didn't really have no crazy energy back towards Vic Mensa. So that's one set of criticism that he has, which I think is objectively true. I don't think it like he's going to give all types of pushback against that every time he hears it. But it's true. It's objectively true. Like he profited from speaking on and making fun of the deaths in Chicago. Like that's what it is. He tries to say that, oh, that's not, the thing that really built my platform up. I was there. His main channel had some of that stuff on it, but the Warren Chirac channel was a separate channel and it's still there and he doesn't do anything with it. We won't get too deep into that because we don't care about that right now. The other criticism that he faces is that you are not a street dude. You've never been in the streets. You're not even street adjacent. So you shouldn't be speaking on any of this stuff. You shouldn't be speaking on it. So with that being said, he shouldn't have any pushback to that. That's not something I necessarily believe as far as that belief system. I do think people like Trap Lord Ross are fucking culture vultures because he's all the way in the UK putting bodies on NBA Youngboy's name and King Von and all these other people. He got a documentary he just put out putting 19 bodies on NBA Youngboy. 19 murders. 2-hour video, bro. But going off Akademiks' belief system, he wouldn't even have a career if he actually believed in that theory universally. You need some verifiable experience to have an opinion or to put out your opinion on certain things. If he actually believed that, he could never speak on killers. He could never speak on, these indictments. He could never speak on all this snitching that's going on. He could never speak on the street beefs these rappers is having. He could never speak on a good chunk of the content that he has made over the course of the past 10 years. You take him having experience and being able to, you take a lot of his opinions away about virtually everything on his platform. Because even when you get past that, you've never been a successful musician. You've never rapped good. Like you started rapping and you did like a rap video after you had fame and stuff like that. You never had aspirations to be a rapper. You were a DJ to some extent, so you could speak on DJing, but you rarely speak on DJing. You know, you're not a mogul. You don't got 4 artists or 5 artists under you or nothing like that. You know, you haven't had to, you know, deal with motherfuckers like how Don Cannon and them had to deal with, and DJ Drama had to deal with Lil Uzi complaining about his contract. You never had to deal with an artist under you complaining about their contract. So it's like, when we talk about the rap business aspect and even the technical rap aspect to where niggas, he's judging a bunch of motherfuckers' music and he doesn't really make music. He's never really put in the 10,000 hours making music. You shouldn't be able to speak on this stuff. You shouldn't be able to have an opinion on this stuff because you don't have verifiable experience dealing with any of it. So you see how that works when it comes to, and this is what it is. His whole stance is disingenuous for 2 reasons. Number one, he is defending not just Aakash, but he's defending his friends, right, as far as Fresh and Fit. But he is also trying to defend himself as far as he's upset that he's been under criticism by these types of channels. That's what it is. So when it comes to that, now it's, oh, you see me be vulnerable. We haven't seen you get caught with a brick. We haven't seen you put a hit on a nigga. We haven't seen your gun bust. We haven't seen or heard of you buying a fucking eighth. We haven't seen or heard of you doing any gangster shit, any street shit ever, but you had so much throughout your career to say about street shit. No verifiable proof of you even being in the hood. I might get on here and I might talk about some gangster shit here and there, but I'll always make it clear that I'm not a street dude. But niggas that I grew up with in the sandbox is street niggas. And some of my family members are street dudes. So it just is what it is. So it's not like I'm not in proximity of that stuff at all. But this is the point. The paradigm that I believe in is you speak from your vantage point. And you should let people know your vantage point. I let y'all know I'm not a street dude. From there, you either accept the perspective or you reject the perspective, or you go and find somebody else like Trenches News, who got exposed as an informant in Chicago, but he's all in the streets. He's all in the neighborhood. He all at them stores, right? We don't know if he did any gangster shit, but he's around them killers. So go and listen to him, and he's informant. But see, this is the thing about Akademiks. There is no part of his story where he validates being from the hood or being around gangster shit. So like even just being from the hood is not a part of his story. It's not a part of his story. So with that being said, by his own standard, that makes him less qualified. The people who would be qualified to speak on all this street shit and not get any pushback would be somebody like Charleston White, who we have seen taking a stand, YSL Lil Woody, who we have seen taking a stand as well, but he's supposed to be like a dangerous dude in Atlanta. And then also Rollo, who is also somebody who has been to jail and he's done a stint and he was super plugged in and had all the drugs in the world, all the money in the world. And he was at the top on some hustling shit. Those would be the type of people who would be qualified to speak on this shit and never get any pushback, as where you, by your own paradigm, disqualify yourself from being able to speak on the things that you have been speaking on for the past decade. So with that being said, the rule is very selective. For him, it only applies when it comes to speaking about women and stuff like that, but it doesn't apply to his whole career and all the street shit he's talked about and all the criticism that's levied against him. His whole argument validates what Mona said. So if that's what you truly believe, just stop speaking on anything street related from now on.